Agut v'ach Rabboisai. We're holding by Omarava, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines from the bottom of Ayin Aleph Amud Beis. Omarava. It's a fascinating sugya about a person who either swallows a dead cat in a vela, and that tumah does not come out of his body, it gets stuck in his body. And also, if it's the opposite, it's tahar, and it's in his body, it's protected by his body, and it doesn't become tameh if there's a dead person in the room. Omar Rava Tarvayu Tanini, Tuma Blua Tanina, Tahara Blua Tanina. These two things, whether it's the tumah inside his body like this, there's a tumah in there, and he touches fruit, remains tar. Whether it's the opposite, something tar in his body, and there's tumah all around and surrounding, remains tar. Tarvayu Tanina, Tuma Blua Tanina, Tahara Blua Tanina, Tuma Blua, the snan. If a person swallows something that's tameh, it doesn't have an effect on the things outside of him. The snan, bola tabas tmeya. If he swallows a ring, that's tameh. Now here's the question, Rabbi Sai. Ask it again. What happens when a ring touches a dead person? What tumah is the ring? Because usually tumah drops down a level. A dead person is aviyah v'isatuma. So what level will the ring become? A ring that's made out of gold. Huh? So the answer is, like Shamshi said, it remains aviyah v'isatuma because it's metal. Metal like a sword doesn't drop down. It becomes the same. Okay. Not exactly. But it's good enough. It's good enough to get them. So, tuma blua this bola tabas tmeya. This tabas touched the dead person. It's aviyah v'isatuma. This guy goes to the mikveh, and after nightfall he could eat his truma if he's a kain. Hekia, if he spits it up, tmeya, the ring remains tameh. V'timatu, and as it comes out of his body, it touches his tongue, his lips, his hand. When he becomes tameh now, he becomes avatuma. He just touched aviyah v'isatuma. So that's the case of Tuma Blua. It's a fascinating case. Again, a tummy ring inside of you with the craziest tumah, it's like a dead person sitting inside of you, it doesn't have an effect on anything around you. And you go to the mikvah, you could actually eat truma, you could do whatever you want. The fact that you have tumah in your body is nothing. The flip side, Tahara Blua, if you swallow a tar ring, Tanina, we learned, it's not bola tabas tahira v'nichnas lo'ela meis. Mamish, this case over here, where he, I don't have that one. Okay, that was the other day? Yeah, this one. There's a dead person and there's tum everywhere. It's all red. But the ring remains green, it remains tar. V'hiza v'shana v'toval, he did the whole process of what you do if you become tummy from tmei meis. You got sprinkled by the paraduma water. Then he spit it up. So the ring remains tahar. It doesn't become tummy through his body because his body is already tahar. His ring never became tummy. So the Gemara's question is, why do I have to say this again? Why do I have to say both cases? Talk about tuma blua, whether it's the tar or the tummy. We already learned it. Says the Gemara, like in this case. The guy has two rings inside of him. And you hear them clinking together. They're touching each other. The tummy one should make the green one tummy. If it was out here on the table, the tummy one touches the green one, the red touches the green, come tummy. No. The chiddush is that even though it's tummy, but since it's in the body, it's belua, it's swallowed up, it doesn't impart it tumah to something else. Ask the Gemara Daf Ayin Beis Amud Aleph. What do we do about our case? You have the fetus and the midwife. She touches with her hand the fetus that's inside the body. It's completely below, it's covered. Shouldn't she not become tummy? Why is she different than a red ring touching a green ring? Here you have a red body. The fetus is red. It's tummy. Touching the hand of the midwife, she shouldn't become tummy at all. Why? Because it happened in the Belua place. So the Gemara says the answer, since the baby is going, it has to come out eventually, so it's as if it's outside, and it made the midwife tummy. I don't understand what you're talking about. Only a baby comes out and a ring doesn't? Everybody that ever swallowed a ring knows that eventually comes out. The people from Pumbedisa know what's going on. Umanu Rav Yosef. You're right. The fetus shouldn't have made the midwife tummy at all. It's a derabbanan. But the problem is that the Gemara says a double lashon. It should say tumazu medivrei soifrim. It's a derabbanan. It doesn't say that. It says tumazu eina medivrei Torah. You should know it's not in the Torah. Ela medivrei soifrim. It's only derabbanan. You could save 3-4 words here, but just saying this tum is derabbanan. You and I will know it's not in the Torah. Why the extra lashon? Rebbe Kiva says, no, the fetus in the mother, the dead fetus in the mother is the tamei, the midaraisa. Rebbe Shmuel says this fetus is completely tahar. But nevertheless, they said, no, we got to say that if the midwife touches the baby, she is completely tamei. My time, what's the reason? We once had a prozdar, which is a hall. We had it a few daf ago, and over there, we're talking about that you can't really see the birth of a baby because the prozdar, there's the thighs of the woman, that's outside of her body. Over here, we're referring to the prozdar that we talk about in Masechus Nida. That from the womb, there's a pipe that goes out. That pipe is already considered that she gave birth. So Mela, if you touch over there, that baby's already completely mitama. Then the baby has tumah, the fetus has tumah. Yachi Ishanami. How come the woman herself, we don't say, hey, she's tamei? Isha Magesh is bad. So no, she doesn't make a mistake. She knows when the baby drops into this prozdar, and that's already considered birth, and she'll know. She'll know not to touch, or she'll know that if she did touch, she's tamei. But when it comes to the midwife, we're concerned that maybe she touched this fetus, and now after the birth, she's going to go to the store, touch all the fruit, look at them, put them down. Now she created tumah on all these fruit or food, whatever it is. Says Gemara, if a woman knows about the stuff, how come she doesn't mention it to the midwife? Trido, because she's very consumed with giving birth, and the last thing she has in her mind is to help other people and tell them about tumah, not tumah. She's busy. So I'm assuming that when you're in a lot of pain and everything it's not going geschmack, you're not busy telling other people. You can barely see what's going on. You can barely read. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, great. My Rebbe Shmuel, my Rebbe Kiva. So what's this machlokes Rebbe Shmuel, Rebbe Kiva? The Sanya. Soda is an open field. It doesn't have any wall. It's to tell us, what do you learn from this puzzle? Touching the soda. That if you touch something that's not in the soda, that's not revealed, something that's hidden, like what? Like a fetus inside a woman, doesn't give off tumah. He argues with what we just said. It doesn't have tumah at all. Not true. He's going to explain why. He says, I say that does give off tumah. What do I do with this puzzle? The rabbi is goylo v'doifik, that the cover of the coffin and the walls of the coffin have a tumah like a dead person himself. If you touch it, you touch it for 7 days. Reb Shmuel, how come he doesn't learn from the pasuk? That's already halacha from Sinai. I don't need a pasuk for that. Reb Akiva, I can't learn about a fetus because I hold a fetus as mamash mitama, so I'm going to learn the goy v'doifik. How do I know that a dead baby, a dead fetus is mitama? Omer b'shayo makro hanugeya b'meis b'nefesh. If you touch a dead person, what's b'nefesh? B'nefesh. You touch the neshama. What do you touch exactly? Ezu meish b'nefesh shaladam. What's a dead person within the nefesh? It's referring to, it's a nefesh within, it's a meis b'nefesh. It's a dead baby b'nefesh in another human being. It comes to tell us a completely different halacha, that even one revius, the amount that we drink, kiddush on Shabbos, whatever it is, 90, 87, whatever it is, milliliter, a small amount of blood, has halacha like a dead person. Shemitama. Here, Kobe did this, you have to look quickly because you'll see that if you blink, you miss. Right here. It says Revi'ez Dam. That Revi'ez Dam gives off someone like a dead person. He says, no, it doesn't have to be one Revi'ez from one person. Memela, the word of b'meis b'nefesh ha'adam doesn't go because it's not ha'adam. It's not b'meis b'nefesh. It's not a singular. It's even blood. The combined blood from two people is also mitama. Mele doesn't learn from that passage. Don't have a reason about mishnei dam boil. The sign of Kiva Omer now there is dam about mishnei meisim shen tam boil. Shenema v'kol nafshis meis lo yavoy. Shtei nefashis v'shir echad. He holds even if the blood comes from two different people, it's still mitama. More ridiculous sugi over here. We're going back. The name of the perek. An animal's having difficulty giving birth, which is not important to the halacha. Just we're telling you a metzias here. So the fetus, the calf sticks its hand out, and the guy chops the hand off. So what happened to the hand? The hand is Ever Menachai. It's Tomei. It's on the side. And afterwards, he shechted the mother with the fetus inside. Habasa tar. The rest of the fetus is tar because it wasn't touching the hand. However, shochat esimoi. But if the fetus sticks his hand out, you're not allowed to eat the hand. And then he shechted the mother while the hand is still attached to the fetus. And then he chopped the hand off. Habasar magonevela. Then the entire fetus is meat that touched the hand. The hand that's stuck outside is you're not allowed to eat it. So what is it? It's a nevela. Nevela gives tumah. That hand that's tamei touched the rest of the fetus. So the rest of the fetus is tamei. Divrei Meir. What tumah is the rest of the fetus? Let's think about it for a second. The hand is a nevela. The hand touched the stomach, wherever, the shoulder, wherever it's attached. So the nevela is avatuma. It touched the rest of the fetus. So the rest of the fetus is a rishon. A rishon could do what? A rishon can be metama. Oichel mashkin, very good. It can't be metama, a person or a kli. Okay. Maga treifa shchuta. It's not that bad. It's not an nevela, but it's still tummy like a treifa. So Gemara is going to explain what kind of tumah is a treifa. And now we have a super interesting Mishnah, but because it's a Mishnah that goes very, very fast, it's like a back and forth in a Mishnah. Different than usual. We know, and we're going to talk about it. If you shecht an animal and you find like our sheep that we shechted next door just a month ago. How long ago was that? We shechted this sheep and Rabbi Amitai ben David looks inside. He says, no good. Had too many sirchas on the lungs. It had those little pieces. So let's say that's a real treifa. Does this animal give over tumah? Does this sheep give tumah? I touched all the parts. Does it give a tumah? No. Why not? Because we did shchita. So there's no tumah. So too, says the Mishnah, that when you shech the mother, this aver, this dangling leg outside, even though you're not allowed to eat it, the tumah goes away. You're right that the shechita helps the mother, because that's the mother herself. It's not even, doesn't belong to the mother. It belongs to the fetus. It's a leg dangling outside. It's not hers. So how does shechita on the mother help the leg that went outside from tumah? Where do you even know? It's interesting Mishnah. It sounds almost like a Gemara. Where do you know that when you shech the treifa, we discussed this and everybody knows this halacha, when you shech the treifa, you shech an animal, you find that it's a treifa, there's no nevela. Or you knew it's a treifa, you shecht it, no nevela, no tumah. How do you know? A lion, you're not allowed to eat a lion. It's a tummy animal, you're not allowed to eat it. So too, a treifa you're not allowed to eat. What's the difference if it has sirchus on its lung? I paid for that animal by the shechita because I was hoping to do the mitzvah. I lost all my money. Finished. I didn't get zero. I couldn't even give it to my cleaning lady. They took it. I don't know what they did with it. They gave it. He did something with it. It's also b'achila. We can't eat it. So he's trying to say that it should be similar to an animal that's tamei, just like an animal that's tamei. And you shecht it, it doesn't do anything. So too, a treif animal, you can't eat it. So if you shecht it, it shouldn't give you any tire whatsoever. So it says the Mishnah, no, lo yemamarto bebehemat meish lehoislo shasa kosher. When you have a lion, there's never a moment in its life that you were able to eat it. Time of a treif shasa kosher, but a treif animal, the first year of its life, before it had sirchus on its lung, you were able to eat it. It says, well, okay. It says the Mishnah, but toilu chamash sheveiso. Get rid of this. Why? Some of the scariest things, sometimes you hear that a baby's born with yana machla. Or a baby's born, even less than that, a baby's born with a heart defect. So here's a treifa. If it's born a treifa, so you don't have your vard. What is your whole vard? It had a few moments in its life that you were able to eat it. No, this particular animal had 0 moments in its life. You couldn't eat it from the moment it was born. It was born with the treifa. How you should know the treifa not better than I? Okay, so we know this is a classic. Tummy animal, a lion, the entire lion pride, all the lions in the world, you can never ever eat them. You can eat the mother, you can eat the cousin. This particular animal, you have a... Okay. Now the Mishnah is going to tell us a crazy chiddush. When it comes to a large animal, the pregnancy is 9 months, and if it's born, the Gemara always holds that any human or animal that's born in the 8th month, it's not a viable human, not a viable animal, and therefore, it's like an avela. It's an avela. There's no shchita. The shchita doesn't help on this animal. There is no such thing as an 8-month-old animal born in the 8th month that survives. Ask the Gemara. Here is a gewaldige sugya. Amai tumas beisas toremi. When you chop off the leg, we chop off the foot of this animal. How does it create tumah for the rest of the animal, for the rest of the fetus? You said in the Mishnah that what? That the leg sticks out. The leg sticks out. And then you shech the mother, and then you cut the leg off. So the leg was touching the rest of the fetus. The leg, we said, is avatuma. It's an avela. It touches the rest of the fetus. We said it drops down one madreg of tuma, goes from avatuma. What's one thing down? Rishoy. But the problem is, where's the connection? The connection is right by the entrance to the animal. It's considered hidden. We're going to go more in a minute to understand what Tumas Beis HaStarim is and how it works. But that kind of thing, if it's Tumah, where it's hidden, It's not. It doesn't. Where it touches, it's hidden. That doesn't give off tuma. Says the Gemara, so we have a very similar thing that we're going to see here that could explain this a lot. It's not shloisha shenechlak. The minimum. So shloisha in the Gemara means tfachim. Shalosh means fingers. Shloisha is the minimum size fabric that could be mekabel tumah, because anything less than that people don't care about. So it's mekabel tumah. Shenechlak. So here, let's just show you an older video. Not older, it's like just 2 months old. When a zav sits on a mattress, even 20 mattresses down, they all become like the zav, avatuma. And the guy who touched the mattress drops one level down and becomes a rishon. Great. That's called medrash. What's medrash? Again, stepping on a mattress, it becomes tumas medrash. So you have a piece of fabric that's 3 by 3, shenechlak, that was split in half. Tarvin medrash, the medrash disappears. Why? Because the minimum of the fabric has to be 3 by 3. Aval tami maga medrash, but it touched the medrash. Oh, I had to take a sefer out of my closet. I'm not joking, a real sefer. And I cut this thing off. Second, so I couldn't find something better. Here's a piece of fabric, 3 by 3. If you cut it in half, you split it in half. No tumas medrash. But the fact is that this piece touched this piece. So he says, Avatami maga medrash. It touched the medrash. This piece, once upon a time, was touching the entire thing, and therefore this piece is something that touched the medrash. It's a rishon. And what does a rishon do? Paris Chaim Levin will tell you. What is a rishon metama? Eichel mashki. Dear Reb Meir. Tanya Reb Yossi, medrash nogazeh. What touched what? Now listen, this is fascinating. That's why I took this. Look at this. Moedik in the Welt. What color is this? Brown. When I cut it, what color is this right over here? White. When it's connected, the only thing that's connected is the white. The brown is not connected at all. This brown doesn't touch this brown, ever. The only thing that's touching in this book is the white stuff inside. The inner piece. Anytime you have anything, what's touching over here? This part is touching this part. The outside part is not touching at all. Zero. Not even a milliliter. Nothing. Nothing. The only part that's touching any object when they're connected is the inside part. In this case, the white versus the brown. The brown is not touching. Nowhere in this book over here is the brown touching. If it's very thick, then it's touching, but that's the inside already. But the white, this white is hidden. It was never seen until you cut it open. But once you cut it open, it's too late. That's tumas beis hastarim. That's tumah that's hidden. And that connection cannot create tumah because it's hidden. Chap what I'm saying? So Mele is saying, Reb Eli says that when I separate this 3 by 3 and I go like this, this part never touched this part. The only time it touched it, you're right, it did, only in the inside part, when they were connected over there. But that's not enough to impart tumah to either one of these parts, because it was hidden at that time. Gewaldig. Yeah? From Schoenberg, gewaldig. Good. When did they touch each other? Okay, that's something else. Medris needs a 3x3. But to touch, if a zav touches, not stepped, if let's say he's barefoot and he stepped on it, or he touched it with his finger, that, all you need is 3 fingers by 3 fingers, and that it has 3. So for that tumah, we'll give you that tumah. But the original tumah of medris, that you're not going to get once you split it down the middle, once you cut it in half. Says Gemara, Lavit ma'ala. Okay, so now comes Ula, Omer Ula. I'll tell you why when you cut the leg of the fetus right off, it does impart, it gives tumah to the baby inside the stomach. Why? This whole thing is talking about when it's 3x3 and it's cut in half. But when it's 3x3 fingers, that comes from a giant piece of cloth that's 3x3 tfachim. So he says that when you cut something, inevitably, when you cut it, there's going to be some touching of the piece that you cut. As you cut it, it's going to touch the original piece. Because whatever the vart is. So it's going to touch the main garment. And that little touching, that's when it gives it tumah. Honami, so too in our sugi, says the Gemara, when you cut that leg off the fetus, it's going to touch the actual fetus, and that's where it's going to impart the tumah from the leg, which is in avela, to the fetus, and that's why the fetus is tamei. Rabboisai, have a good vach. Yishkar for coming.
Merit the schutz of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.